In this podcast episode featuring Bret Weinstein, the discussion revolves around the potential for genocide and the collapse of America, drawing parallels to historical events such as the Roman Empire. Weinstein emphasizes the importance of addressing these topics openly to prevent them from haunting the future. He acknowledges the risk of a slow-motion collapse of the American system and the need to understand the signs indicating potential downfall. Weinstein delves into the concept of genocide, highlighting the predictable nature of targeting certain populations when growth stagnates. He discusses the rise in anti-Semitism and the potential for genocidal impulses on both sides of conflicts, like Israel and Gaza. He points out the need to recognize and address these impulses to prevent catastrophic outcomes. He also touches on the complex dynamics in the Middle East, where historical interventions have fueled violence and hindered progress towards modernization. Weinstein introduces the concept of the Cartesian crisis, where individuals are trapped in distorted worldviews that prevent them from seeing facts clearly. He emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between beliefs and values and the role of science in establishing objective truths. He argues that the politicization of facts and the lack of shared values hinder progress and perpetuate conflicts based on differing interpretations of reality. Weinstein advocates for a reliance on science as a tool to establish facts and guide decision-making. He stresses the need for shared values to build a foundation for cooperation and progress. By internalizing the costs of actions and products, he suggests that the market can drive positive outcomes that benefit humanity. Weinstein believes that aligning incentives with improving human life can mitigate tyrannical impulses and foster a society focused on advancement. The discussion touches on the perception of America's potential collapse, drawing comparisons to historical empires like the Roman Empire. Weinstein acknowledges the risks and challenges facing the American system, but maintains that a rational, optimistic outlook is still possible. He emphasizes the need for intentional efforts to navigate through the current uncertainties and prevent a catastrophic outcome. He suggests that understanding the antagonists to sense-making and addressing them is crucial in steering towards a more optimistic future. The conversation delves into the concept of a hidden entity, referred to as Goliath, which obstructs our ability to see the truth and make informed decisions. This force is believed to be working against public understanding and steering society in a direction that benefits a select few. Weinstein highlights the example of the COVID-19 crisis and the controversy surrounding the safety and efficacy of mRNA vaccines. Despite credible claims of adverse effects, there is a lack of transparency and denial of the connection between the vaccines and certain health issues. This deliberate obfuscation of information raises questions about the true intentions behind promoting these vaccines and the underlying motives of those in power. Weinstein expresses concerns about a potential slide towards totalitarianism and authoritarian control in society. He views the world as a battleground of ideas, where the suppression of dissenting opinions and the manipulation of information can lead to deep societal problems. The emphasis is on the importance of free speech and the exchange of ideas in maintaining a healthy democracy. The conversation explores the idea of collusion among elites and individuals in positions of power to control information and manipulate public perception. However, Weinstein also acknowledges the role of emergent behavior, where societal norms, technological advancements, and cultural shifts contribute to the current state of affairs. The combination of deliberate steering and organic processes creates a complex web of influences shaping society. Weinstein discusses the impact of social media and the internet on amplifying misinformation and simplifying complex issues. The rapid dissemination of information and the prevalence of echo chambers contribute to the narrowing of the Overton window and the suppression of diverse viewpoints. This phenomenon leads to a lack of critical thinking and a reliance on polarized narratives. The conversation then shifts to the concept of polite society and the social pressure exerted by mainstream narratives and societal norms. Weinstein challenges the notion of conforming to polite society's standards and questions the value of seeking approval from a group that may not have the best interests of society at heart. He emphasizes the importance of independent thinking and questioning established norms. Weinstein draws parallels between the behavior of polite society in different historical contexts, including the Nazi era, to underscore the dangers of blindly following societal norms without critical evaluation. He critiques the current state of polite society for promoting superficial narratives and stifling dissenting voices. Weinstein emphasizes the value of exploring controversial ideas, even if they may be uncomfortable or unpopular. He believes that the pursuit of truth and understanding should take precedence over avoiding potentially harmful or controversial topics. Weinstein acknowledges that some topics, such as genocide, may elicit strong emotional reactions and trigger a sense of disgust in people. However, he argues that it is essential to delve into these subjects in order to gain a deeper understanding of human behavior and societal issues. He believes that by exploring taboo topics with epistemic humility and robust tools, individuals can contribute to advancing knowledge and promoting critical thinking. The podcast also touches on the challenges of being a public figure and facing criticism for exploring controversial topics. Weinstein reflects on his own experiences of being misunderstood or misrepresented by others, particularly in relation to his views on vaccines and other contentious issues. He acknowledges the risks and consequences of discussing taboo topics, but remains committed to engaging in open and honest dialogue. The concept of do no harm is also discussed in the podcast. Weinstein suggests that this principle should not be interpreted as avoiding all harm, but rather as a general guiding principle in the pursuit of knowledge. He compares this to the practice of medicine, where some harm may be necessary in order to achieve a positive outcome, such as in surgical procedures. Weinstein emphasizes the importance of updating one's positions and being willing to admit when one is wrong. He believes that constantly refining and updating one's ideas is crucial for intellectual growth and progress. He advocates for a process of prototyping ideas, where initial concepts may be flawed but can be refined through iteration and feedback. Weinstein emphasizes the need to protect the values and principles that have historically contributed to the success of the West, particularly in terms of collaboration, consent of the governed, and the leveling of playing fields. He argues that the West was founded on the principles of consent of the governed, which was a radical departure from previous systems of governance. The American founding fathers inadvertently created a system that promoted collaboration among individuals from diverse lineages, leading to significant advancements and innovations. However, he acknowledges that the system is not perfect and has flaws that need to be addressed. One of the key points discussed is the concept of lineage, which Weinstein defines as any individual and all of their descendants. He highlights the importance of understanding lineage relationships in shaping behavior and cooperation among individuals. By recognizing the evolutionary significance of lineage, Weinstein suggests that collaboration based on reciprocal altruism can transcend traditional boundaries and lead to mutual benefits. The discussion also touches on the impact of profit motives on societal issues, such as the production of pornography. Weinstein distinguishes between erotica, which is created for artistic or personal reasons, and pornography, which is driven by profit and often leads to the exploitation of taboo themes. He warns against the normalization of harmful content and advocates for a more discerning approach to consuming sexual material. Weinstein introduces the concept of the time-traveling money printer, where individuals with privileged information can manipulate markets to their advantage, akin to having a time machine. This leads to a discussion on the censorship of information and the blinding of the public to maintain power and control. The conversation touches on the erosion of truth-seeking mechanisms in society and the need to democratize access to knowledge to empower individuals. Weinstein shares his first-hand experience visiting the border between Panama and Colombia, where he witnessed a massive migration of people, including South Americans, Haitians, and individuals from the Middle East and Africa. The migrants face harrowing conditions in the Darien Gap, with reports of robbery, rape, and separation from family members. The Panamanian authorities struggle to control the influx of migrants who are being shuttled through the country towards North America. A notable observation is the presence of a separate group of Chinese migrants, predominantly young men, housed separately from other migrants. The motives and intentions of these Chinese migrants remain unclear, raising questions about their military-age demographic and the secrecy surrounding their migration. Weinstein expresses concern about the open southern border of the United States and how it could be exploited by foreign adversaries. He highlights the lack of scrutiny and security measures in place, making it easy for individuals with malicious intent to enter the country unnoticed. The international community's encouragement of mass migration further complicates the situation, providing cover for potential covert activities. Weinstein presents the hypothesis that the Chinese Communist Party may be orchestrating an invasion of the United States by sending tens of thousands of migrants through the southern border. He assigns a 60% likelihood to this scenario, citing the hostile behavior of the Chinese migrants in the Sanvente camp as a key factor. He questions why these migrants would display hostility and mockery towards Americans if they were genuinely fleeing oppression. Weinstein delves into an evolutionary perspective on sex ratios, highlighting a paradox he identified regarding China's one-child policy. He questions why China continued to produce excess males despite evolutionary principles suggesting a preference for females in a society with an abundance of males. He speculates on the potential implications of this imbalance, including the creation of a surplus male population primed for conflict. Weinstein discusses China's Belt and Road Initiative, describing it as a modern imperialistic strategy aimed at expanding influence and control over infrastructure and resources globally. He emphasizes the competitive nature of international relations and the need for countries to advocate for their own interests while recognizing the potential risks and consequences of unchecked power dynamics. Weinstein expresses his views on the upcoming 2024 election, criticizing the Democratic Party for fielding a candidate like Joe Biden, whom he deems unfit for the presidency due to mental decline. He advocates for Robert Kennedy Jr. as a rational and capable candidate who possesses the necessary skills, knowledge, and temperament to lead the country effectively. Weinstein urges voters to prioritize reason over party loyalty and consider the long-term implications of their choices in a time of national emergency.